What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be reviewing round 10, Port Adelaide versus the Western Bulldogs. Port Adelaide getting the job done by 13 points in a scrappy, hard-fought victory at the Adelaide Oval in front of a 14,000 strong crowd. And it was a winter's night at the Adelaide Oval, but we certainly put the pressure on in that third quarter, and it almost basically got the job done for us because it was a hard game, a physical game, and coming off a 4-day break, that's the sort of performance you wouldn't really expect. So kudos to Port Adelaide and the boys there. But let's get straight into this review and see exactly how it panned out. I tell you what, it was great to be back at the Adelaide Oval watching what was going to be a very enticing contest, especially with, as I said, Port Adelaide coming off a 4-day break. The Dogs coming down from Metricon after playing the Tigers, and well, it's the sort of performance I expected from the Dogs, really, because they have their good days and they have their bad days. And in the first half especially, I really thought they brought the pressure. They were dominating us through the inside 50s. Our midfield, and especially Pete Adams in the ruck, they weren't really switched on as much as we've liked to see. The Dogs having countless amounts of inside 50s, not quite putting us away with their chances. And kudos to our defence because it just stood up. Mackenzie, having him back in the side was great. He was just instrumental throughout that first half, and Tom Jonas's first half leadership qualities were oozing out of him all night, and his courage and his strength and his ability just to win that one-on-one contest. And it was certainly so important for us early on when the Dogs were peppering their inside 50. So, and then Cleary on Josh Bruce, where he has Josh Bruce in his back pocket because he did nothing all night, Brucey, and I think the Dogs have a little bit of a question mark over him at the moment and where his form's at, because that's not why they brought him to the club. So, in saying that, the Dogs, Jack McRae in the middle was just sensational. I thought English was good early on against Laddams, and the likes of Liberatore, Daniel were just, they were taking the game on, and we struggled to go with them. I think what was hard about it was that I think because we looked so lethargic and that 4-day break really took into effect, I think if we had even a couple of days extra rest, we would have come out even better. It was dewy conditions. It suited the Dogs a little bit more. They were just able to control the game. They were a little bit cleaner around the contest. Our pressure wasn't up to scrap, and we were just a little bit lazy in terms of putting pressure on. It wasn't until the second quarter where we started to regain a bit of that, and Ollie Wines especially, he started to influence the contest a bit more. He was tackling everyone and he hit the scoreboard. And Rockcliffe was just all over. Well, actually, from start to finish, Rockcliffe was the only one in the midfield that had a 4-quarter performance all night. Had 14 tackles in the end. And he even up forward, he was able to put so much pressure on around the Dogs' defenders. And once that third quarter hit, that pressure thermometer, I think Fox Footy, they showed it on their little pressure meter. It was elite from us, and to have that kind of pressure, for me, the third quarter was the best quarter of football we've played. We kicked 4 goals, and that's best quarter this year, obviously. We kicked 4 goals. We were hammering inside 50. I think it was 17-4 for the quarter. Just our midfield was switched on. Ollie Wines was good. Zach Butters had a fantastic quarter. His contested numbers were sensational. I think he only had 3 or 4 uncontested possessions for the night, and the rest were contested possessions. And he ended up with about 25, 26. So Zachy Butters was phenomenal. And the way he was able to just... he's a small in stature, but he's so strong. And there was that play in the second quarter where he was attacking one of the Dogs players in the middle and caught in a 1-on-3 situation. And the Dogs were out, they got the handball. But he was able to cut off that handball and create a 50-50 contest on the next one. And in the end, Woodcock hit it up Robbie Gray, and Robbie Gray dribbled it home. So it's little moments like that that just give us a chance. And if we're able to halve the contest when the momentum is against us, that's massive in terms of switching that momentum back, and that's exactly what happened late in the second quarter, and we were able to do that. And that mark from Dersma just created a sense of, we're here. We're going to take the game on and put our body on the line. When it's your turn to go, you go, and that's exactly what Dersma did. That's what Butters did on the night. Young Boyd Woodcock did the same. I thought he was quite. It was jumpy. Like, he had a lot of energy, and I think the nerves were certainly there early. And when he kicked that goal, the crowd went off and everyone celebrated, and obviously got taken away because of Snicko on the edge, as they say, on the post. So that was unfortunate, but it's just these young guys. They have this energy about them, and Rosie, even in patches, was looking good. Houston across halfback, I thought was great, especially early on. He was hitting targets and was able to set us up really well. And Carl Amon, well, he didn't have a great night, but he was still able to provide that outside option that I mentioned last week when we played Melbourne, that he was able to do countless amounts of times. And when we're switched on like that third quarter was, we're able to take that game to the next level with that pressure. So defensive pressure's hitting the elite category, and also we're able to convert our opportunities. And what was showed in the end, because we were able to kick 4 goals in the quarter, and the Dogs only had a point. And to have that continuous pressure and the momentum, and I think the biggest thing as well was having the crowd behind you. The crowd was lit up, with energy, and the chants were going around, and when that happens, the players start to feel it, and you could tell, especially after that second goal that we kicked. Obviously, the Robbie Gray one, and they had Charlie's first one. We got the chopping of the arm. You could feel the energy. Like, it was bubbling. Adelaide Oval was building, and then Charlie Dixon takes arguably one of the best contested marks you'll see this year.
Goes back to Amon with a high ball, right to the square. Where's Charlie this time? He goes one hand, two hands. What about that for a grab from Charlie Dixon? Only needed one hand, pushed off a couple of Bulldogs and somehow brought it down.
Just to the way he controlled it with the the front of his hand, turned around, and then was able to bring it down into his advantage while wrestling 2 Bulldogs players in a pack. The man is in some serious form, and he's the scariest footballer you'll ever see. There was a moment where I thought he was chasing the ball, and Caleb Daniel was standing right there. I could see from where I was sitting, Caleb Daniel was thinking, oh, hell no. I am not going anywhere near that mountain of a man. You just laugh, because he's just able to he's able to halve the contest, and he creates contests, which helps our little guys. And Dersma, Rosie, Robbie Gray, Westhoff even was crumbing balls. It's so important to our side, and I think his second half really created what was the momentum changer. And when you have players that can stand up in a moment like that, you just smile. It's just great to see Charlie playing his type of footy, feeling fresh, looking good, and he doesn't want to rest. And we talk about resting players during this period of, the footy frenzy. He doesn't want to rest. He wants to keep playing. He's one of those players that you have momentum and continually playing. Your body's in ripe shape. Keep him going. We've got Richmond and Geelong coming up. You need him playing. And if he's kicking 2-3 goals a game against those types of opponents, we're in really good stead. So overall, I think a win like that sets us up so much better than a win against Melbourne, because Melbourne was 50 points, and we proved the point that we're able to bounce back and respond. But to come back home against the Dogs, 4-day break, the Dogs need to prove a point to themselves that they need to turn it on again. And it's just the whole situation. In previous years, Port Adelaide's losing that game. So to come up against an opponent like the Bulldogs, who have some very talented players, and they're able to kick a winning score, to keep them just to 42 points. They peppered us. They missed some chances late in the game, but our defence stood up. Our leaders stood up. And players like Butters and Dersma and McKenzie, they stand up in crucial moments. When some others aren't standing up, normally it was Port Adelaide, when they didn't stand up, everyone else sort of crumbled, and then the whole team crumbled, and then we put out a performance like we would against, like we did against Brisbane, when no one was able to turn the game on its head, but we had players stand up, and I think that's crucial to a team who's looking to build for some success, and it's great to watch. So, yeah, super impressed with that performance considering the situation we'll be in. Well, Port fans, that wraps up this round 10 review of Port Adelaide versus the Western Bulldogs. I'll follow it up in a couple of days' time because we're going to play Richmond at home, so it's going to be an even bigger game, an even bigger contest this Saturday. It's crucial to continue on and keep building because this season's looking pretty damn neat at the moment for Port Adelaide. 8-2, it's not too bad at all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content coming your way. My name is Anthony, and as always, go on the pair.